Hey guys and gals, I'm doing another episode of the Dark Girl Chronicles. Hello. It is my semi current update, and not much going on with me. I'm home spending time with my boyfriend and working, and he's working, and not much else going on. Things have improved on that front with us. Our relationship is getting better. It took a little bit to adjust because we both had to get used to me living here, and so um, it was a little bit of adjustment, and it was kind of hard. It was like, well, yeah, she lives here. Does she really live here? I'm like, yes, I do live here, in fact, jerk. So, but we've been together about a year and some change now. So, um, it'll be a year and a half, in like October, I think. Yeah, it'll be a year and a half in October. So, and it's just now like the end of August, beginning of September. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. Something interesting. Well, two things it happened yesterday that were super interesting. One, and I want to say this on camera. Congratulations to my friends, um, Earl and Violet. They like officially got engaged. Um, it was. I mean, it already knew they were going to, and they already were, but he actually like had the ring and like got down on one knee, and I was all like, "Oh my God, you're doing this right now!" I am unprepared. Because I didn't realize he was doing it right then, and I was like, "Oh, I thought you already done it." And so, yeah, he like got down on one knee, and he was like, "Yeah," I was surprising her. And I was like, "I know, but like, I want to be better dressed for this sort of thing, and like, I want to." I don't know. I was crying. I was literally crying because like I'm a sucker for romantic things like that. Like I'm just such a romantic creature when it comes to that sort of thing, and it's stuff like that that um has restored my faith in humanity after my own marriage kind of imploded. So yeah, I'm super happy to see um two people who really care about each other and really want to learn about each other get together and be um, happy with each other. So, congratulations to you, Earl and Violet. I am super happy for you. I know I said that like 50 million times yesterday, but I want to say it on camera. And I want people to know I'm very, very, very excited. It's always good when you see a good young couple who are in love with each other and they want to be together and they accept each other for who they are and they support each other. That's my main thing is that um, they support each other, and that's because that's always hard. And there are times when you think you have support from your significant other and you don't. Trust me, I'm living proof of that. You could be in love with the person, but they could not give a crap about you and they won't support you. And they'll say they support you, but in reality, they don't support you. And they're trying to undermine you. So that's why I'm like big on supporting each other and not so much um, financial support. I mean that is a big thing in a marriage. Trust me, that's a huge thing in a marriage. But at the same time, I'd rather you emotionally support me and let me worry about the money. Okay, let me worry about the money. But I need you to be behind me and helping push me and help me want to be a better person and have drive and ambition to better our circumstances. And you have the same drive and ambition. Not necessarily exactly the same, but at least we're on the same page when it comes to, both people have to work together to make this work. That's what I need from my partner and my significant other. And it's hard to get him to realize that I don't care about the money. I don't really care about the money. It's not about the money. God is not about the money. Because I was involved in something that was about the money. And, when we had money, we weren't happy. When we didn't have money, we weren't happy. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter. In the grand scheme of things, I've learned it doesn't really matter. So, the second thing that was cool was after Earl and Violet got engaged, completely engaged. So I said to Brandon, I was joking because there were, it's hard to explain, but I was at the house of my ex-boyfriend's girlfriend, okay, and the mother of his child. Um, she, they've been together. They've been together much longer than he and I were together, and it's been a little rough. We've gone some time without speaking, like years without speaking, mostly on my part because I got fed up with a lot of things, and once I get to that point where I don't want to deal with it anymore, I just tell you I don't want to see you and I don't want to talk to you anymore. Um, and that's what happened. Like, I basically just was like, I don't want to see you and I don't want to talk to you. And he was my best friend at the time. So, I very nearly married this dude 10 years ago. As a matter of fact, he was the person that I was seeing right before I met my now ex-husband. And, we'd broken up. By the time I met my ex-husband, he and I had broken up, and my ex-boyfriend and I had broken up, and I was like, I've been single for almost a year, and then I met my ex-husband, and it was like, okay, yeah, this one's it. So, yeah, we broken up for like 7 months, and then, because we were off and on for a long time, we were off and on for like 4 years, and then we dated all throughout the time that I was in college. And we got engaged. And, like, I popped the question, which should have been the first sign. Um, I bought him a ring, and I popped the question. And got down on one knee and was like, you should marry me. And he was like, okay. Yeah. So, yeah. We wound up not getting married, to say the least. I broke up with him in February of 2004, and by like August, we had been talking about getting back together, maybe, and then I met my ex-husband in like August of 2004, and then he and I got married in October of 2004. So yeah, it was like that. So I don't know, me and this dude, we have a long history. We have a very long history. We also went to high school together. He was my prom date. And I liked him. I liked him a whole lot. We ran in the same circles and that sort of thing. So, that's how we got to be friends in the first place. So, we wound up not getting married at all. And we broke up. And we stayed broken up because I got married. And I'd always said I would never go back. Even if I had not been divorced. Even if I hadn't been married, I decided then not going back. So even once I got a divorce, of course, that was out of the question. He's been with this girl for some time now, like years. And they also have a very adorable child together, he's the cutest little thing. He makes Auntie Lindsay want to go have children. um, he is adorable, and he's very much both of his parents. But I just, I just don't. Yeah, that will never happen again. So, but we got to be friends again. Once I got a divorce, I told him, I was like, let me tell you some things that went on during my marriage, so you have a better understanding of just why I stopped talking to you. And I told him, and he understood, and he didn't hold it against me, which I'm grateful for, because we had been friends long before we decided to date, and then we were friends after we broke up. But my ex-husband kind of got in the middle of that, and he didn't need to be in the middle of that. That situation was going to resolve itself anyway. It didn't need my ex to get in the middle of that. It really didn't. And he very subtly drove a wedge between the two of us. So, and what makes me mad is that in the end, he didn't even want to keep the marriage going in the first. I don't even know why he got married in the first place. But I was like, you didn't even want the marriage in the first place. But you broke up a friendship and, drove two people apart. For what? Like, what was the point of that? You didn't even care in the first place. But you did it because you needed something to do. How about you go get a job and take care of your wife? That's something for you to do. Or, keep your dick in your pants, please. I mean, like, if you want something to do, like, do that. Take care of your business first. Be worried about somebody else that wasn't worried about you. He could have gave a damn. My ex-boyfriend did not care. I mean, he was upset, but he got over it pretty quickly. Because shortly after we broke up, that was like 2004, he met his now girlfriend. And they started dating. Like, shortly thereafter. So, I mean, it was just so stupid. So, anyway, so I was at his girlfriend's house, and she and I are friends, and she and I talked about a lot of things. And though I had to have some words with her, because as much as I love her, I love her to death. She's one of my favorite people. She's smart, she's creative. I mean, like, she is everything I'm looking for. If I were ever gonna mess with a woman, she would be what I would be looking for in a woman. Okay, let me put it that way. She is my ideal woman, and she's also very pretty. It just so happens she's very pretty. Like, again, my ex-husband got involved into these problems and caused more problems where it didn't need to be. And he got involved in the middle of that. And I'm pretty sure he hit on her several times. I'm almost certain she didn't want to tell me because she thought it would hurt my feelings that my ex-husband, who I already knew was, like, sex obsessed anyway, he probably hit on her. He was always talking about her, and he would always be like, well, she came to me for advice, and, I tried to counsel her. And I'm like, the only reason why she even knows you is because of me. So if she's going to come to anybody for advice, it ought to be me, considering she's dating my ex-boyfriend, and that's what she's asking you for advice about. Really? Really? You going to use that excuse? You must think I'm the dumbest person on the face of this fucking earth. Like, come on, dude. Really? So, whatever. So, shortly thereafter, we separated. And she was pregnant with their son, with my ex and her son. She told me some months after that, when I told her that we separated, she told me that my ex-husband came to visit her in our hometown. And he stayed for a little bit, and he talked to her, and he got advice from her. And I was like, so let me get this straight. I'm going to make sure I have this right. Your ex-wife is from this town. Your ass couldn't be bothered to even call her. Pick up the phone and call her. I'd already told him that my mom was sick. Okay? I'd already told him that she was sick. This was like 2 months later. So you come to visit somebody you barely know who's pregnant with your ex-wife's, your estranged wife's, I should say, because I wasn't his ex-wife yet. Your estranged wife's child. You gonna come see her, but you ain't gonna go see your mother-in-law, who's, you know, sick, there's something wrong with you. There is something wrong with you. And good riddance. You are crazy. You are batshit crazy. Yeah. So I told her, I was like, if he wants you, you going to get that. You going to get it. You can deal with exactly what I dealt with. And you're going to find out the hard way why you don't need to be messing with that. Don't be messing with things you don't understand. Because you're going to have to find out the hard way that some people just ain't right. They do horrible things. And they're not good people. And he's not a good person. So, yeah, she and I had some words about it. And I told her, I was like, look, I don't care if you're still friends with him. I don't care. That's none of my business. I personally, if he had done that to one of my friends or somebody I knew, I wouldn't talk to him ever again. I would tell him, nah, dude, I can't talk to you because you ain't right. Like, why would you do that to somebody? That's the devil at work. You ain't right. You need to get your shit right before you come talk to me. And I would have stopped talking to him. I'm that kind of person. I will stop talking to you. I will judge you. And I will stop talking to you if you do something heinous like that. Like, I can't support that. Like, I cannot support you doing something so awful to someone that their whole life is completely just upended and changed and ruined, and they can't do anything about it. Not really. And you gonna sit up here and act like you're doing them some kind of favor? Like, what? I would immediately have words with you, and I would let you know just how stupid you were. And then I would tell you, nah, I can't hang with you, because you're not right. If you do that to your wife, what just say you ain't gonna do to me? I ain't your wife. I'm just your friend. So, nah. I try to hang around decent people with some morals. And he ain't one of them. So, but I told her that, and I was like, if you want to hang with him, that's your business. I don't care. But, you know, don't talk to me about him, because I don't want to talk about him. I don't like him. I think he's awful. So, we're friends still. But anyway, we were at their house, and so I said to them, that I made the joke to Brandon that, I was like, you're up next, dude. And, she was like, oh, actually. And I was like, yeah, I know. He really should have been first here, but, you know. So I was messing with Brandon, and Brandon says, and I quote, that he was saving up the money. In essence, he said he was working on saving up the money to buy me an engagement ring. And I'm like, what? Where's this coming from? Wait a minute. Wait. Slow it down. Stop. This is from the same person who said they pretty sure they didn't want to get married. They weren't even thinking about it. I don't know if I'll ever get married. I don't know if marriage is in the cards for me. And now all of a sudden you're at least thinking about saving up the money, and you're working on this, and you're a work in progress on this now. You went from zero to thinking about it to now you're working on saving up the money to get a ring proper, because I already told him I better have a ring proper before you come talking about marrying me. First of all, don't come in here with no ring. That's not going to work. Second of all, you need to ask me properly. Don't just hand me a ring and say, here you go. Nah, that's not going to work. No, you're going to ask me. You need to get down on one knee. You need to use my full name. So, if you don't know how, you better find out what it is. Because I very seldom use my middle name. Like, I use it on official documents and things, but for the most part, like, most people don't know what my middle name is anyway, so, yeah. I need to be acceptably dressed, because that's an important occasion, and you better take me somewhere nice. So I told him, I said, so what you're telling me is, I told him, I said, so what I'm telling you is, when you ask me, not only do you need to ask me when I'm properly dressed and you need to use my full name, but I know I'm going somewhere real nice. Okay? Someplace like Ruth Chris's Steakhouse or some shit like that. Because that's what I consider a really nice place. That place is super expensive. Oh my God. Um, or you're going to take me to the Blue Marlin, which I know for certain the Blue Marlin is a restaurant here in Columbia. If you take me to the Blue Marlin, yeah, I know you're going to propose because I don't eat seafood to start with, number one. And I know how much the Blue Marlin costs. The Blue Marlin is a very, very expensive seafood restaurant in Columbia. So, yeah, I know. Um, so, that's why I'm just kind of like, I don't know. That's just weird. It's really weird. Because all of a sudden now you're like, oh, I'm thinking about it, and I was thinking about saving up the money to get you a real ring, and proposing. And then he's like, I don't want to raise a family on chump change while I'm making chump change, and I'm like, this is such a departure from you normally that I don't even know what to say. For once in my life, I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what to say. Because if you guys will recall, when we first started dating, um, it was hard just to get him to even admit that he felt that way about me. Despite the fact that everyone knew how he felt about me. It was pretty obvious. I knew how he felt about me. And everybody but him had already guessed it. Like, as a matter of fact, not the last time, not yesterday, but like the time before that we saw one of our friends that is mutual friends with Jasmine and Marcus, whose house we went to yesterday. Um, he was like, I mentioned something about us being together for like a year or something, and he was like, really? That's all? Because I swear y'all have been together a lot longer than that. And I was like, nope. It's actually only been officially a year. We were casually dating. I guess you could say we were casually dating, and we've said this on camera before. We were casually dating for like, I don't know, 2 years. The entire time that I was separated, we casually dated. We weren't like serious or anything. And if I wanted to date someone else or he wanted to date someone else, I mean, he was well within his rights. I understood that part, and I had no problem with that whatsoever. And he didn't have a problem with that either. But yeah, I was like, seriously, yeah, we've been together only about a year at this point, so year and a half at this point. So yeah, it seems like much longer, but not really. We've only been official for about a year and 4 or 5 months or so. So it's such a departure from what he said before, that he'd been saying all before, that he didn't think he'd want to get married, and trying to get him to even get to the point where we were in a relationship, and getting him to actually say that out loud and actually refer to me as his girlfriend. That was kind of weird. Let me put it to y'all this way. When the very first time that he held my hand in the street was weird. Like, it was very awkward and weird. And, like, I held his hand first. I made the first move and held his hand. And I was like, we weren't even dating at that point. We were testing the waters, so to speak. I hadn't filed for divorce yet. And it was like right before I filed for divorce. And we gone out and we saw Man with the Iron Fist. And I held his hand. And I mean, he didn't protest or anything. He didn't say no. And, don't hold my hand or anything. He just kind of looked at me strangely, and then, he didn't say anything else about it. But we went to dinner and a movie, and I mean, but it was pretty obvious, like, we had already talked about it. And he already knew what his status was with me. I'd already said, I literally counting down the days until I filed for divorce, and then get a court date. Like, I don't expect this to stretch out. So, you know how I feel about you. It's not as if you don't know how I feel about you. I'm not seeing anyone else. I haven't been seeing anyone else. I'm not going to see anyone else. I only want to be with you. And I want to date you officially. Like, the minute my divorce is final, I want to date you. I'm ready to do this. And I told him, I was like, I want to date you once I'm free and clear legally. And so, I mean, the man had the status of gentleman friend in waiting. Like, seriously? Come on, dude. So I don't know how he didn't guess that part. But yeah, that was the first time I held his hand, and it was super awkward at first. And then it was normal, and then I didn't hold his hand after that. It wasn't until probably a little while later. I don't know, it was a little while later, like Christmas of that year, it was really super awkward. He got me a Christmas gift. We weren't dating at the time, but he got me a Christmas gift, and I got him one. And like we were game shopping at like Christmas time, and he was like hugging me and stuff, and I was like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this? What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" God, quit, just quit, like quit, because you're getting my hopes up. So then my divorce was final that January, and then that April is when we started dating. So yeah, it was just really, it was really awkward. He didn't actually fully for real hold my hand again until like June. It was right after my birthday. And he just kind of randomly held my hand, and I was like, "What are you doing? This is awkward." But it was the first time he actually held my hand without me prompting him to do it. Like, without me, like, holding his hand immediately. So, it was just, that's why I'm like, it took you, like, 6 months before you would even hold my hand out in the street and introduce me as your girlfriend. You would be like, "Oh, this is just my friend." And I'm like, "I'm not just your friend. What the hell?" Um, like, seriously, I'm not just your friend. Stop it. So then he was like, yeah, he was like, "This is my lady friend." And then he was like, "Okay, this is my girlfriend." And so now, I mean, now he's just like, "Yeah, you met my girlfriend? This is my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend. She's so awesome. She's my girlfriend." And I'm like, I'm just kind of making that face like, what? What in the world? Yes, I'm his girlfriend. Like, if he introduces me to someone that I haven't met, he's like, "This is my girlfriend. She's so awesome. This is my girlfriend. Have you met my girlfriend? She's so awesome. Smart. Pretty. She's so awesome. She's my girlfriend." And I'm like, what? I do have a name. I'm not just your girlfriend. That's not my given name. My mama didn't name me your girlfriend. That ain't what my mama named me. Um, so it's just really, really, really odd that he's gone from he can barely hold my hand. Like, I remember these things. Like, I remember the very first time he kissed me. I kissed him first, and then he kissed me, and it was like, wow, that was awesome. Do it again. And he was like, "No, I don't want to do it again. You're still married." I'm like, what? And I'm like, nobody care about that. He was like, "I care about that." I was like, anyway, um, back to someone whose opinion counts. So he, yeah, I remember when he wouldn't even kiss me. Now, like, my God, like, I can't get him not to kiss me in the street. Like, we'll be out in the street and he'll just randomly kiss me, and I'm like, what? You didn't even hold my hand like 6 months ago. What in the world? But yeah, it's just really weird because I've seen the progression of him actually admitting his feelings, and then acting on his feelings, and then, like, accepting it and saying, "Yes, this is a person I want to be with." And yeah, I'm thinking about getting married now, and, she's probably the one I'm going to marry, but He's still kind of on the fence about it, which I understand. I want him to take as much time as he needs to think about that and think it through. Don't jump into something that you ain't prepared for, because this is a big thing. It's a big thing. It's a very big thing. I've already done it once. Trust me, it's a big deal. People love to say marriage is nothing but a piece of paper, but no, it's not. It's a partnership, and it's two people working on themselves and themselves together. And if everybody ain't on the same page, well, you see what happens when everybody's not on the same page. If you've watched any of the previous 3 seasons of Dark Girl Chronicles, you see what happens when two people are not on the same page and they can't get it together. And when somebody is screwing things up and they refuse to get on the same page and work together to make it work. That's what happens. And it's terrible. So that's why I was like, you've seen my marriage literally disintegrate. Like, don't go that route if you can help it. Be ready for this. Work on it. Be ready for it when you decide. And I told him, you have to decide this. You decide, not me. I already am ready. I have been ready. This was just a temporary pit stop in not being ready. This whole deal with me, getting my stuff together and recovering and healing from my marriage falling apart. That's a pit stop for me, because ultimately it's like riding a bike. You never forget. You're never not ready after that, unless you don't want to be ready for it. Trust me. There are people, and the more power to them, because I understand if you don't want to get married again after your marriage is falling apart, don't do it, because you're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing the other person a disservice. But in my case, there are people who are ready and they will do it again, and they've always been ready. They just have to turn that switch off temporarily to let things heal and get better, and then they can turn that switch back on and say, okay, yes, I think I'm ready to try again, and I found someone who is better for me, who is willing to work on this with me. And that's what I like about him, is that he is ready to work on things. He will at least try. He will at least try to work on what he needs to work on and work on his flaws. And he knows he has flaws, and he knows he's not ready. I mean, he alone knows whether or not he's ready for that or not. But he at least will tell me. He has told me, hey, look, I'm not ready to get married yet. And I'm like, dude, take as much time as you need. If we never get married, I'm cool with that. Okay? I am completely cool with that. And no, I'm not going to break up with you for that reason. Because getting married again ain't my goal. It's not my focus. I'm really more concerned about, do I have adequate companionship? Is this person going to be supportive of me? It's not putting a ring on it, necessarily. I feel like the first person should have kept a ring on it. If we're going to quote Beyonce here. I mean, we're going to do any Beyonce quote in here. The first person should have kept a ring on it. Don't be mad. Because you see he want it. Like, I never thought that song would be that applicable to me until I got a divorce. And then I realized, she was talking about separated people and people who have been divorced. And they find love again. Like, yeah. Don't be mad because you see he want it. Like, that's your problem. You should have kept a ring on it, and you should have kept your mouth shut and stopped doing stupid shit. So, yeah, those were 2 awesome things that happened yesterday at my friend's house. And we played a lot of video games, and they played cards, and I just really had a good time hanging out with people and getting to hang out with friends and people my own age who know about what it is I'm talking about when I talk about video games and anime and comic books and stuff like that. Like, I mean, that's so awesome to have people who are supportive of you and around you who know what you're talking about, and you get along with them and you like them. So, I don't know, but I guess I'm gonna end this episode here. So I will see you guys later, and thanks for watching, I guess. Hopefully I'll be able to do another episode in a little bit. I don't know. But we'll see. Season 3 is kind of wrapping up too. So I'll see you guys later. Deuces.